They wanted to rule the world, but most of them ended up in a ditch, a bunker, or a cage. From dictators who thought they were gods to mad geniuses who built doomsday weapons, here's how the real supervillains of history met their end. And trust me, not one of them got a happy ending. Adolf Hitler, the bunker finale. Spring 1945, the Empire is falling, the Allies are closing in, and the Fuhrer is hiding underground like every comic book villain in his lair. On April the 30th, he does what millions of his enemies couldn't. He destroys himself. He locks himself in with Eva Braun, marries her 24 hours before the end, and boom! Poison, gunfire, cremation. The perfect villain send-off. His body was burned, his ashes scattered, but the myth lived on. Even 80 years later, people still search for his secret hideout. Don't bother, it's gone. Benito Mussolini, the crowd's encore. Unlike his German ally, Mussolini tried to run, but the crowd had other plans. Partisans caught him, executed him, and hung him upside down in Milan Square. People spat, hit, and laughed. That's how the man who called himself the new Caesar ended up, a street decoration. Idi Amin, the cannibal who died in bed. Idi Amin, dictator, murderer, and alleged cannibal. He ruled Uganda through fear and blood. But when the world turned on him, he did what every comic book villain does best. He ran. To Saudi Arabia, where he lived comfortably on stolen money and died in 2003 in a hospital bed. No justice, no revenge, just karma, in slow motion. Even supervillains can get boring endings. Pablo Escobar, the Empire on the Rooftop. Pablo Escobar, drug lord, politician, philanthropist, and maybe the first villain adored by the poor. He built schools, killed judges, fed children, and bombed cities. His cocaine empire spanned 3 continents. December the 2nd, 1993, the day the cocaine king lost his crown. He wasn't taken down by the police. He was taken down by his own ego. He called his family, and that phone call gave him away. After years of shootouts, bribes, and wars, Escobar was shot dead on a rooftop. He ran barefoot, fired back, and laughed. Literally. His family said he took his own life. The police said otherwise. Either way, even a billion-dollar empire can't save you from fate when you're the world's top villain. Saddam Hussein, from palace to pit. One of the world's most feared dictators ended up hiding in a hole. When U.S. forces found him, Saddam was dirty, bearded, and broken. He was tried, convicted, and hanged. The whole world watched it on camera. Irony at its finest. A man who built palaces of gold ended his life in a concrete pit, like every villain who loses in Act 3. Osama bin Laden, Operation Neptune Spear. He became the face of terror, the most wanted man on Earth. May the 2nd, 2011, U.S. Navy SEALs storm his compound in Pakistan. A few minutes, gunfire, silence. His body was buried at sea, no grave, no shrine, no followers. The end of an era of fear and the start of 1,000 conspiracy theories. Muammar Gaddafi, the dictator without a throne. After 42 years of power, Gaddafi tried to flee his hometown, but the crowd caught up. He begged for mercy. He got none. Killed on the spot, his body displayed for the world to see. From golden thrones to the back of a pickup truck, the king of Africa had fallen. A supervillain's ending, or maybe an anti-hero's tragedy. Joseph Stalin, alone against everyone. Even the mightiest villains fear one thing, being alone. 1953, Stalin lies on the floor of his dacha, dying of a stroke. His guards are too afraid to enter. No one wants to anger the leader. He lies there for hours alone. The man who ruled millions through fear dies not from a bullet, but from silence. Al Capone, the accountant's revenge. In the 1920s, he sold booze faster than doctors could prescribe aspirin. Judges feared him, politicians feared him, even neighbors feared him. But he wasn't beaten by gang wars. He was beaten by taxes. 1931, arrested for tax evasion. Not murder, not smuggling. Paperwork. The greatest criminal in America defeated by an accountant. He spent his final years delusional, believing he still ruled Chicago, except now, Chicago only existed in his head. Hey, the empire got smaller, but at least it's quiet. Bernie Madoff, the collapsed tycoon. A modern villain, no guns, no bombs, just spreadsheets. Bernie Madoff, the financial wizard who conned investors out of $65 billion. He fooled everyone, hedge funds, charities, billionaires. His empire ran on lies until 2008 when the money stopped coming in. It all vanished. The empire of air gone. Trust gone. Sentence, 150 years in prison. He grew up behind bars, realizing his name wasn't on Forbes anymore, but in fraud textbooks. He died in prison in 2021. No drama, no chase. Just an old man no one feared anymore. He should have just become an influencer. Finale. They all believed they were immortal, that the world would worship them as gods, but history remembered them as warnings. In the end, every supervillain is just a human being with weakness, fear, and an inevitable ending. But if you think only villains get bad endings, wait till you see how heroes turned into monsters. See you in the next episode, when noble ideals drove people to madness.